When you were depressed, what kept you going?
My life goal is to be a mama. Obviously, my best friend Lily, living with her, it can definitely be triggering. If anything, I was speaking to guys to like get validation. I struggled in like high school. I was called Quadzilla, Thunder Thigh. Allowing myself to be vulnerable is going to be the most powerful thing moving forward. The way that you look at your body is more important than the way that anybody else looks at it. Feeling called to go to America.
I definitely am not motivated all the time. I can't give up on myself because that means that I've failed.
Wow, this is great. Alright, so I'm going to answer some questions from the Q&A. First one, weight loss tips for PCOS girlies. I think I'm going to make a PCOS dedicated video because I feel like I've had such a prolonged journey with my PCOS, getting my period back somewhat. And I feel like I could just go into a lot more depth with that. And there was a lot of questions surrounding that. And I still get a lot of DMs around PCOS and weight loss and that sort of stuff. So I'll do that. But just to like quickly touch on it, I think for me, the biggest thing was and still was all about like slowing down. The more that I was doing, the more weight my body was holding on to, the more inflammation, the more stressed my body was, the more that your body's in that fight or flight state, the more that it's going to hold on to everything that it's currently got and like plus some. For me to slow down, reduce stress, which has like been the hardest thing to try and do, it was the best thing that I could have done. Even like this year, like I really have surrendered into slowing down and being okay with slowing down, and it has resulted in getting somewhat of a consistent period. So that's like my biggest tip first and foremost, but I will make a video dedicated to PCOS, I promise. My favorite gym shoes, definitely these, is my 9060s, and I literally just ordered a new pair today in like the dark navy blue. And the Crocs, I actually ordered the Crocs because they didn't have my size in store, which I think I mentioned. I ordered the wrong size in both of the shoes. I think because I like did like the quick add and then I've clicked my size, but then it's just not added my size and it's just done like the size that it's always on. So I ordered my New Balance in like a 7.5 and a Crocs in an 8, and I was like, I want New Balances in a 9 and Crocs in a 10. I have a big foot. Anyway, they're my favorite gym shoes for sure. Otherwise, Adidas Asters. They are also my favorite. Skin update. Have you seen an improvement since following your protocol? 1000%. Today, honestly, has been the first day that I was like, not the first day, the most intense like moment where I was like, holy shit, like I feel things progressing. For one, just getting my period at a 40-day cycle, like hallelujah. And two, like so flat. And even Lily has said twice today, she's like, oh my god, your skin. And I'm like, I know. It just feels incredible. And I'm just like, I'm just so happy to see some sort of progression with my skin. Like I actually can't even explain. I'm honestly just so happy, and I think like just surrendering to this protocol, listening to Emily's tips, recommendations, everything, and just going ahead with it and letting it do its thing without trying to add extras, do more, like just doing her protocol, letting it happen, like letting it do its thing, and like again taking the stress off. So I'm so happy, and I can't even, like it's so flat, you guys. I can't. I'm just so happy about it. So yes, definitely. How the fuck to talk to boys after getting out of a long-term breakup. I was in a long-term relationship when it was like 12 to 18 for 6 years, and it was like that first love, childhood, you know, love, and coming out of that being 18. But the time that I came out of that relationship was when I started dealing with PCOS, acne, weight gain. So going into like the most, like the toughest period of my life, there was no way in hell that I was like, you know, like out there speaking to guys confidently, and like if anything, I was speaking to guys to like get validation and just like be wanted kind of thing, and not being like, I want someone in my life, not like need someone. And it was just like filling a void that was just a waste of time almost. But the biggest thing with this, and it's even the same as like making friends, it's honestly about finding like yourself, spending time with yourself, being confident in who you are in order to like be authentic to the person you want to like manifest into your life, whether that be boyfriend, girlfriend, friend. And so I think it definitely comes down to like just being authentic and like putting yourself out there. It's such a daunting thing to do, but the more confident that you are, the better and easier it is going to be to do that. What I would say to that is like honestly just like putting yourself out there, being so confident in yourself. If that they reject you or don't respond or leave you on red or whatever, you're like, oh well, they weren't meant to be in my life. And it's not like, oh, he left me on red or like he didn't respond or whatever. Like just know that like they're not the right person for you. But don't let that stop you putting yourself out there and meeting other people, whether that be out, you know, at the gym, like just going up and saying hi to someone. I was at Fishbowl the other day and this guy had like a serious accent. I was like, where are you from? He said wherever he was from, I can't remember. Little things like that where it's like just being able to spark a conversation, being confident in just being able to like strike a conversation out of interest and not out of like, I want to have a relationship with you or take you home or like, do you know what I mean? So just yeah, being able to put yourself out there. I hope that answers your question. How long did it take you to build your Instagram to a point where you felt you had a community? Honestly, I felt like I had a community at 2,000 followers. Like, truly, this Instagram now that I have that you guys know is my second one. My Instagram got hacked in 2021 when I moved to the Gold Coast, and so this Instagram I started again in like 2021. So I built to, what am I on, like 30k in 2 years. So I'm so proud of that. But I honestly, this Instagram, old Instagram, I truly felt that I had such a good connection and community at 2,000 followers, because I felt I've always been authentic, I've always been honest, and really valued connecting with my audience and my following, and being able to like respond to DMs and having conversations with people who admire what I have to say, or, you know, what I'm posting. I think that is huge. And so yeah, I feel like I've honestly had a community from the get-go, and I think that comes down to you as like the personal brand and the person within the Instagram account. How are you putting your content out there, and how are you then, I guess, communicating with those on the other side that are like receiving your content? I think that's huge. How did you find out what was causing your acne? Is it gut or hormones? Honestly, I feel like I'll never be able to find the underlying issue. Like, no one can ever pinpoint it, and everyone that I know who's cleared their acne, it's like, what actually helped? They don't know. What actually caused it? They don't know. I definitely think mine comes down to imbalanced hormones and gut imbalances and issues, which is like the two things that I'm working on. And then it's like, okay, but then I've reduced stress, and then I've reduced my training load, and then I've changed to like non-toxic, non-pore clogging skincare. Like, there's so many things that I have put in place over the last, 5 years, mindset, all of the things. So it's like, what really is the winning thing? I don't know, but I do definitely think it's to do with gut and hormones. Like, that's just like my overall thing. But I can't be like, yep, high testosterone is what causes my acne. Like, there's no way I think anyone's gonna pinpoint that. So that's that. How to accept my body. I'm a gym girly whose quads and traps are big, which I'm not loving. Firstly, big quads and big traps are a fucking win. And like, I have big traps, I have big quads, I've forever had big quads. I struggled in like high school. I was called Quadzilla, I was called Thunder Thighs, like you name it. I got the name from having big quads. And at the start of like in primary school and high school, I hated it, because I was like, girls are meant to be skinny and have box gaps and thigh gaps. Like, actually spare me. That was a time that never should come back. It was a struggle to try and accept the fact that I had big legs, but now I look back and I look at my career that I've had as a gymnast and acrobat, and what my legs have provided for me and allowed me to do within, flipping around, throwing people, catching people, standing on the World Cup silver medal podium. Like, please, I will never take my big legs for granted. They're muscly, they're toned, and they allow me to do so much. And I think as soon as you can flip your perspective on said insecurity, it's when the look of your legs change. It's when they no longer look large or fat or cellulite, and they look strong and powerful and provide you with so much good. So I think that was the biggest thing for me. It was like changing my mindset around it, and the way that I look at my legs definitely was like the biggest thing. Okay, we are losing light really quick and fast, so I'm going to start editing this vlog, and then I'm going to get the rest of this Q&A done tomorrow, because I'm just losing light and I'm not loving it. So I'm going to go have my dinner, have a shower. I'm going to chill out for the night. We are back and we are ready to finish off the questions before we close out this vlog. So I'm just going to get straight into the questions. What are the biggest tips on finding the right things to post on social media and building community? I think with that, and as I mentioned last night, like, I'm not going to say finding your niche, because I don't believe in just like niching down to one particular thing. And it's not like I'm just posting skin content, right? I am health, fitness, wellness, acne, mindset. Like, that is my niche, right? So all my content kind of aligns within each other, whether that be health, fitness, mindset, and how they correlate, how my mindset helps my skin and how my health helps my skin, and all things like that. So my overall picture of my social media intertwine in some way, shape or form, right? So that would definitely be, if I was posting about car motors one day and then acne the next day, followers would be like, what the heck? Because I feel like people who are interested in skin wouldn't really be interested in car motors. And so that's where it's like, okay, in some sense, yes, find your niche of opportunity where that you align and where you live your life, and then creating what feels good to you. Don't go and create something because I've done it, or because Beyonce's done it, or because Sarah's Day's done it. Like, create what feels good for you and what you actually enjoy creating. I sat down this morning and created like another reel for my skin series, and I just had so much fun doing it. And a part of it is, sponsored by a brand, but it just fits so well because it was so aligned with my skin series, and like, I've been using the product for so many years, so it felt right. And that's how I want my content to feel. And since starting the skin series and changing up the way that I post things, I feel so in alignment with everything that I'm posting, and everything feels easy. Inspiration comes easy. Wanting to film, motivation comes so easy because I'm enjoying what I'm doing. And that's when, you know, when you're enjoying what you're posting, your audience is going to see that and receive that from the other end and want to follow you because they can see that like you're being authentic about it. And then with that becomes your community. So that is my biggest thing for that. Plans for the next year or so. This is a good question. This year is definitely, and like basing it off my word for the year, which is build. I am honestly just trying to build on everything that I've created. So far, that being like social media, I feel like I've created such an incredible platform on my like Instagram, YouTube, and now we're like building on that. We're building the audience, we're building the content, we're building connections, we're building business. So all of that is just like building on what I've already created, building a business. I am starting a new business, which I'm so excited about, and that is going to be launching in the matter of like weeks right now. I'm so freaking excited, and it is all things mentoring for athletes and really just like being the person that I needed as an athlete. It has been something I've wanted to do since 2020 and something that I knew I would do since I was a little girl. Like I just knew this would happen, and last year something just clicked and I brought back everything I worked on in 2020, 2021. Now I just come back to life, completely changed and revamped, but just feels so incredibly good. And like that is like my main focus this year, along with socials. Definitely traveling. I'll be going to Bali mid-year to visit Riley because she's moving over there literally this week. I would love to try and get in a States trip. I do have on my goals list this year is to do a solo travel trip, and I would love to do that to the States. I'm currently looking at doing it quite soon just because it's the way that it's worked, and I'm just feeling called to go to America, and I've never really felt that. Like I've been there 3 times and I'm like, oh, I wouldn't really go back to LA unless I have kids. And now I'm like, oh my God, like I want to go back so bad. I don't know what it is. I have also messaged a few friends and I want to meet up with them over there and like stay at their house and stuff. So I'm so excited to see the girls and finally meet them in real life. But other than that, there'll be a lot of travel to Melbourne for Jackson's footy because I'll be helping him vlog for his game days. So I want to make sure that I'm trying to as well utilize that time that I am going to Melbourne and do like handstand workshops and meetups and walks, and obviously seeing my friends and family down there, and then just enjoying life, having fun, enjoying everything that I'm doing, and then really hope that Jackson and I can get in a holiday at the end of this year once his footy season is finished. Hope so. Your go-to natural skin products for face and body. I have literally just filmed a reel for this. My makeup that I use every single day, which is clean, pore clogging, ingredient free, natural, everything, is Lost Minerals. I literally love their makeup so much. I've been using them for like 3 to 5 years, like literally so good. I do actually have a code, which is TORI15 if you want to shop on there. In terms of skincare, I'm currently using Clear Stem, which I absolutely love. They also have on their website a link where you can go on and put ingredients in to check if there's any pore clogging ingredients in anything that you're using. So highly recommend that. And then I've been using Peaches and Lily, I think the brand is. They're like toner. And I also use Medicate. I absolutely love Medicate. Advice to the girl in the reel you posted a couple of days ago. Oh my God, that is so beautiful. The reel that I posted that I assume she's talking about it was a picture of me, and then it was all these messages around it of the messages that I've sent to my mum a few years ago when I was really dealing with weight gain, acne, really bad mental health, anxiety, depression, the list goes on. And so honestly, I think I would say to her is like just to truly hang in there. Like I'm so proud of everything that I did to get through and like the way that I stood my ground. There's little things that I wish I could go back and change in the sense of like letting people walk over me or just like not believing in myself that I deserve to have this life now. But then again, like something in me knew that I did because I fought for it, if that makes sense. But I think just like trusting in myself and allowing myself to be vulnerable is going to be the most powerful thing moving forward, and it was. But opening up and talking to people is completely safe. It is okay to open up. You're not alone in it is like one of the biggest things I would also say. And just like keep going. Never give up on yourself. Never ever give up on yourself. Oh my gosh, it's so hot. Why did I do this in the car? We have got tips for starting YouTube. Bloody just go for it. Honestly, I held off starting my YouTube for so long because I was scared of what people think. I was scared of the way that I was in myself at that time. Like I was so, guys in a truck pulling up next to me. So just gonna act confident, no one will question me. just gonna pretend I'm on the phone. Yeah, so I think the biggest thing with starting YouTube was like obviously fear of failure and fear of what people are gonna think of you. But the longer you let that hold you back, the longer that it's gonna stop you from starting a YouTube, and you never know what YouTube could bring you until you start. YouTube it is a long like grind, and it is something that takes the discipline and the dedication and the effort to put into it, you know, to be able to edit and film and get everything up. But don't think that you have to start perfectly. Like, don't think you need like the best camera and microphone. Like, literally start on your phone. Dead set, start on your phone, get the content up, start showing your life. Like, that is the most thing that people want to see. And I think in like 2024, like long form content is in and it is staying in. But the biggest thing that people want to feel is like relatable and value from someone else, and just to feel like, oh, like they're a friend. Like, you can sit here and watch my video and be like, oh, she's like a friend to me. And I feel like I'm speaking to my friends, you know? The biggest thing like for YouTube is like, just for one, like just absolutely going for it. And then two is definitely committing to it and like setting yourself a goal. So like this year, I'm like every week I have to put a video up, because in the past it's been like, oh, here and there, and I haven't had time. I'm like, I have to make time no matter what. So setting yourself a goal, whether it's like monthly video, fortnightly, weekly, 2 a week, whatever it is that you have time for and want to commit to, make it realistic, because it is hard work, but like set that goal and make it happen. How to deal with bad body image days. There are always going to be those days. There's absolutely always going to be those days, and don't think that there's not, and like there's like just a place that you get to where like you forever just think you have the perfect, most sexy body ever, because I don't think anyone is there. And I literally had a moment yesterday where I was like, oh my god, I feel like my thighs have gotten bigger in like overnight, which they haven't. And it's just being like, okay, that's a thought that we don't need to play into, move along, right? And Jackson and Lily, I voiced it, and Jackson and Lily both were just like, it's just like acknowledging the thought and then being like, that's silly. Like, my body enables me to do so much. It's just coming back to gratitude and acknowledging that your body allows you to do so much, and just being grateful for it and being like, today I feel, you know, a little bit puffy or a little bit overweight, but that's just how I'm feeling today. And maybe I can support my body by being a bit more positive and upbeat. And the way that you change your mindset is the way that you're going to look at your body. Like, I guarantee you, when I was going through like gaining weight and like biggest like body dysmorphia, like insecurity, like time, the second that I could like change my mindset again, like around my legs, like I mentioned earlier, the second that like my body changed in my eyes. And that is the most important thing. The way that you look at your body is more important than the way that anybody else looks at it. Do you like using the Aura Ring with Natural Cycles app or using the thermometer? I don't have either of them. I am looking at Natural Cycles, the app, and then getting the Aura Ring. I have heard amazing things, and I think I just like need to do it like ASAP. What's your beauty and high maintenance routine? I love this question because Georgie Stevenson mentioned this on a podcast where you have like high maintenance appointments to be a low maintenance person. So for me, that's like getting my eyebrows done. I get them wax tinted and laminated. That is like a non-negotiable. I don't really have many, but like getting a facial definitely just makes me feel good, and obviously it's great for my skin journey. Getting my nails done, which like I just started getting them done again for the first time in like 8 months, but that's kind of all that I do. Getting my hair done, which is very, very like sporadic because I'm brunette now, so I don't need to get it done so much. But I don't really have many. But for other people, that might be like lashes or lip tattoos, so stuff like that, where it's like it's a high maintenance like appointment, but it enables you to be a low maintenance person, and so you don't require doing like makeup and stuff like that. But my biggest thing is like my eyebrows, to be honest. When and do you want to get married and start a family? 1000%. If you've been following me, you will know that my life goal is to be a mama and a wife and just create a beautiful family home that I didn't really have growing up. Not that I didn't have a beautiful family. I had an amazing family, and I still do. My parents were divorced. My dad has 3 other kids, so like my 3 little brothers. Mum has 2 other kids, so my older brother and sister, but I was like an only child between my mum and my dad, and so I kind of grew up just my mum and I, so it was like kind of not lonely, but like I didn't have siblings around much. I saw my little brothers once or twice a year, and once my older siblings moved out, like I didn't see them as frequently. So I just really want to be able to create like a beautiful like family home. Like that is like my dream. In terms of when, look, I would have it yesterday if I could. I would have had it 2 years ago, but I also know that Jackson and I have such big goals that we want to achieve before we're settling down and having kids and a family. I know his like biggest value is making sure that we're set up financially. Not that there will ever be a point where we're like, yep, we're ready, like let's go. It's just going to be knowing that we're stable enough to support our kids in the life that we want to be able to give them. There's just so much in this world that we want to be able to give our kids, so we want to make sure that we can provide for them and anything that they need, and then also having a beautiful life for us for Jackson and I post kids, or like, you know, during them growing up and everything like that. So that is definitely huge for us. But before all that, we wait for a ring. So we'll just keep waiting on that one. But I don't really know, and I'm not going to put any pressure on it, but I just can't wait to start that period of my life with engagements and weddings and kids and nurseries, and just like that has been something I've waited my whole life for. So I'm not going to rush it because I'm grateful for where I'm at and I'm excited to build before I have kids, but I cannot wait for that period of my life. Tips for eating well while traveling: definitely doing what you can in terms of grocery shopping, and just like looking into, if you're eating out, like instead of going to Macca's, like go get an acai bowl, or try and look up cafes that have more sustainable foods and things that are like going to actually fill you up, rather than just opting for like the quick easy takeout meals and what's going to help you feel good. I think that's the biggest thing. Like if you feel like going and get a dirty Macca's meal, like go and do it, but then have a nice healthy dinner. But if you're just like, I just want to feel good the whole time, then it's like, okay, let's get some sushi, or let's go get like a salad roll from somewhere. Like let's be mindful and choose wisely. I'm literally dying of sweat. Okay, do you ever find living with a bodybuilder triggering even though you're besties? So obviously my best friend Lily, who I live with, is a bodybuilder, and she is currently in prep and she has about 9 weeks to go. It can definitely be triggering, 100%. She's on this like grind where she's weighing every single gram of her food. She's sticking to like this exact protocol. She's training every single day regardless of how she feels. And then I'm on the complete other spectrum where I'm like listening to my body, eating when I feel like it, not weighing my food, not training if I don't feel like it. So we're both on like completely different ends of the spectrum here. And it definitely can get me, because from being an elite athlete where I'm like, train when you don't feel like it, like push through, like get up and do it, I'm like, oh, like should I be doing that? And then obviously with her body composition changing so much over the last like 5 weeks, and then now especially into the next 9 weeks, she obviously, as bodybuilders do, as they get close to comp season, they really just like shred up, and you just start to see their body change. And living with her, you wouldn't think that you'd like see it because you see her every day, but like you do, like you notice the little changes, and it definitely can become triggering in a sense. It's like it's definitely a me thing. This is nothing to do with Lily at all, but it's like it's a mindset thing for me where I have to be like, no, I'm not in that season. I'm honoring my body, I'm listening to my body, and this is where I just have to put myself first regardless of like how much I want to just like go at it.
Okay, I've moved inside because I'm way too hot in the car. I don't even know why I went in there. As a procrastinator myself, what do you do to achieve so much in the day? Honestly, getting up early has changed my life. For one, definitely having like my to-do list set out for the day, which I will do the night before. I kind of like brain dump things on the weekend throughout the week, and then for each day, like so the night before when I'm in bed or closing up my laptop for the day, I'll always set a to-do list for the next day. And that literally looks like from the second I wake up to bedtime, and I will like put in, you know, when I want to eat lunch, my sunrise walk, my breath work, journaling, breakfast, filming a reel, like whatever that is, I put that in my day. And then it's not about like getting upset when you don't achieve something, it's putting it back into the dump and move it to the next day. If there's things that are like deadlines and you have to get them done, it's like making sure they get done first thing in the morning where, you know, your energy is up and about and you can just like get up and get it done and tick that off your list. But I think, yeah, definitely the biggest thing is like getting up early, and that has just like changed my life. Nervous system regulation tips. Love this question. Definitely the few things for me that I do would be like beach walks, breath work, just to like slow everything down, come back to the present moment, getting off my phone, going for a sauna, a beach swim, anything that just makes me feel like I'm switching off, I'm back in my body, I'm back in my center and feeling like super calm and present. That's when I'm going to be regulating my nervous system. If I'm like stressed, and like yesterday I skipped lunch because I knew I was going to pack first. I was like, I'll quickly just go get that done, but that like forced me to be really hangry, and then as soon as I don't eat, I get frustrated, and then my mind starts to like go 100 miles an hour, and then I just get all scattered. So definitely making sure that I'm like eating when I'm hungry and making sure I'm like fueling my body properly in order to function at its best, and then doing little things throughout the day that I need to refresh myself. And especially like working from home, we can work like literally all day, so making sure that midday I go to the gym, so I'm breaking up my day. Or if I'm like feeling agitated at my desk, I get up and go wash my face and like refresh myself. But definitely like having a list on your phone of things that you love doing, and then being able to go to them when you feel like you're a bit uneasy. I feel like everyone kind of gets this kind of question, but like, how are you so motivated all the time? I definitely am not motivated all the time, let me tell you, but more so as I've gotten older and done more self-development, and now that I'm like living a life more in alignment with what I want to do and who I am, that is what motivates me. Being able to like create my dream life, getting up every day, working on my own terms, working for myself, creating for incredible incredible brands, connecting with incredible people like you. It's being able to be grateful for that and knowing that what I'm doing like genuinely fulfills my soul, and that's just what motivates me. Yes, like I have an element of discipline, and discipline is huge, but I would say that like I'm fairly motivated most of the time because I actually love what I do, and I think that is the biggest thing. All right, my camera's on a good 5%, so we're gonna wrap this up after a few more questions. Okay, when you were depressed, couldn't see the light at the end of the tunnel, what kept you going? Great question, and trigger warning for anyone with mental health. But honestly, for me at the time, like there were so many times where I wanted to just like give up and stop. Like I had suicidal thoughts, and I was genuinely like, what is my purpose? What is like, it's just not worth anything. Like I just don't want to be here. I'm not enjoying any day that goes by. But there was just like this little thing inside of me that knew like I had to just keep putting one foot in front of the other, because I knew that I would get to a point where like now where I wanted to be back then. And I think just like having that little feeling inside where it's like I can't give up on myself, because that means that I've failed and I'm never ever going to get to where I want to be if that's the pathway that I choose to take. So it was just like showing up, focusing on one day at a time, little things that I could change every day to help me feel a little bit better, or feel somewhat accomplished, or feel like I'm doing something that I enjoy, and just like one foot in front of the other. Last question I'm going to answer is, would you put together a fitness program? I have been playing with the idea of creating like a basic ebook for gym girlies, and just for someone who basically like they've been in the gym, they know what they're doing, but they just want to be able to follow a program without having to think about what to do. They can kind of just flick to any page, pick upper body, pick lower body, pick full body, pick what they're feeling, and then like get that workout done. And it's not so much about like an 8-week challenge, but it's just having this there whenever they feel like, oh, I want to do a workout from that ebook. And like I know that I like that workout. And like for me, when I was going through my fitness journey, like when I first started, when I was like losing weight and trying to become like a very healthy, strong version of me, I know I had to like be able to follow something. And then like especially first starting out, properly going to the gym, like it can be daunting. And I always say, like my mum used to say, when you go to the supermarket, always shop around the outside, because you're going to get your fruit and veg, your meats, and then like your frozens, whatever. And then as soon as you go in, you start to get into like the lollies and the chocolate and like the biscuits and like all that stuff. So always start around the outside. And I feel like it's the same thing with the gym. You want to start around the outside, where you've got like your squat racks with your barbells, so you can do like your squats, your RDLs, your overhead press. Then you come around and then you've got your dumbbells and then your benches. So it's like basic things like shoulder press, lateral raise, and then you keep going, and it's generally like treadmills and stuff where you can go for a walk. And I think like when you can start using the outside of the gym first, it builds your confidence to then work your way into all the machinery and the cables and all that sort of stuff, which is just like can be so daunting. So I have toured with the idea about creating a little ebook of like my favorite workouts that I've grown to love, but that's like basic, can get in, enjoy the movement and get out type of vibe. So if you're listening and you're like, that is something that I need to just like follow and like go back to once I've like done, say it's like 6 weeks ebook, you can kind of like go through and then always go back to it. Let me know if that's something you're interested, because I could honestly create that straight off the bat, and I'm just like thinking about just doing it. I've been playing around with workouts and stuff, writing them all down as I basically always do, but then just putting it in a book, I guess, for you guys to flick to whenever you want. So let me know if that's something you're interested in, and I will get on that for you. But that is all from me. I will definitely do another one of these soon, so I didn't realize how many questions were going to come through. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for weekly videos. But otherwise, I love you guys, and I'll see you next week.